During our live stream the other day, a conversation arose between not Hailey, aka Jason Broyles, and I about the Free Karen Reid movement, which is precisely what the other side would like to break up and bring to an end. So here's our positive list of what that movement represents.
That's what's beautiful about these standouts, and that's what's beautiful about these people coming together, because without this kind of the planets aligning in terms of this Karen Reid case and getting the publicity that it did, and having this groundswell of support from this grassroots people like Scott, people who are out there, people like the Sweeneys, people who got out there and started this stuff from the beginning, and one by one more and more people came, and these other groups saw this and they started to say, hey, we want to join you. And now here we are. We're in this position where, for the first time, the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office, instead of having one family that they can shut down, has 100 people standing on the sidewalk, and we're not going to just let you walk by and ignore us. So
Yeah,
amazing. It's
it's,
amazing.
it's been beautiful to watch, and I've enjoyed watching it, and I've enjoyed watching the humanity come out. Like, you guys are so one of the things we know that's divided America above all things is these elections, and you're even coming from different electoral divides to come together on this stuff. And so it's just been beautiful to watch that you can overcome each other's humanness and mistakes and voting preferences, and like, there's so many divides that you're climbing over to come together on that. And that's what makes it enjoyable for me to watch. It's so organic. There's no particular leader. I know that Rita and Aiden are held out as leaders, but they're not really. They're just doing their parts. Aiden in the exposing the information, and then Rita in keeping it organized so that it doesn't get too crazy and people aren't actually, breaking out into fights and stuff. She involves the police in the standouts and lets them know where everything's happening. It's all fairly organized that way. So I don't believe that they're literally leaders of these movements. I don't believe anybody's giving anybody any orders. I'm certainly not being given any orders by anybody. I do this because I'm watching you guys do this completely organic thing that really needed to be done.
Yeah, and it's effective. So that's the thing. Like, there really is. My initial visit to, it was to Dedham. It wasn't to Canton. It was to Aiden Carney hearing, and my initial visit was literally right after I got doxxed. I had just gotten doxxed. I had never been to an event before, and part of that was because I probably could have gone incognito and have nobody know who I was, but I just really was like, this is a separate thing that I'm doing. I'm doing this online thing and it doesn't involve this. But once I got doxxed, I really wanted to come and see it for myself. I wanted to come to an event. I went into the clerk of court's office and I did some public records requests while I was there and was able to pick up some documents. And when I walked up, it was the strangest feeling in the world, because here I am on the other side of a keyboard. Most people, despite my best efforts from probably march on to tell people not to assume my gender and don't assume I'm a woman because my name is Hailey and all of these things. Most people still assumed I was a woman. Lots of people still call me Hailey. They're like, we're never going to call you Jason, so get over it. And
What?
I said,
They keep
I,
misgendering you. It's
which
your
is,
choice if you want to be a woman.
I know what you're doing to me. You did this last time, and then I got clips saying I'm gay all over the internet. I know. There we go again. I'm gay. All right, so that's going to happen again. And here, I'm a woman. All right. So we gave them another one so they can use that. Get that in your videos, trolls. But the whole the whole point is that we have this scenario where I just went there because I wanted to see it one time. And actually, Microdots was there and leaving, and I walked by him, and I just, you see somebody out of context and you're in person instead of seeing them on a thing. And I walked by him and I'm like, oh, I think that's Microdots. And when I turned around and went back, he was actually leaving. So he got in his car and left. So I was actually disappointed because he's one of the people that I wanted to meet because I was such a fan of his work. But as I walked up and I started to walk down the row by the courthouse and I walked through now who I know are all these usual people. I didn't know anybody there. And I
Mhm.
walk by and then I start seeing people like kind of looking and like some people are smiling. My picture had just been blasted all over the internet for a couple of weeks. And then all of a sudden I show up there and I tried to get into the hearing and it was full. I couldn't get in. So I went into the clerk's office, did my records request, and I walked out and there was just people there openly smiling at me. And then one of them's like, "It's you, right?" That's what they said. They said, "It's you, right?" And I'm like, "Yes, I'm me." You know what I mean?
It's really
And
you.
then next thing I knew, it was like, "See, I told you it was him. I told you it was him." And all of a sudden, people are walking up and hugging me, like people that I didn't know. It was slightly uncomfortable at first because there was people just kind of lined up and came over, and I love your work, and they're hugging me, and I was definitely not used to that kind of attention. I'm still not entirely comfortable with that kind of attention, with the exception of, um, I do like it now because I've learned how to handle it a little better when people come over and they try to do that. I also say, all right, but if you're going to hug me, like introduce yourself to me and tell me you are, because I walked away that day with so many people that had hugged me that knew me because say, oh, you're Jason, you're Hailey Walbrecht, and they went through this, and I realized that it was kind of a whirlwind, and I didn't know any of their names. There was a couple people that introduced themselves to me, and I talked to them, some of whom I still talk to today. My great friend Tim, um, and I was just kind of flabbergasted at this thing just happened to me, and I'm like, I don't know any of these people, and now it took me till the next event when people came back over. Oh, it's nice to see you again, and I had to kind of like corral Tim in and say, who's this? Who's this? Who's this? My friend Matt, my friend Tim. It's great. It's great meeting these people, and they're people I talk to almost every day now. So it really is. It really is kind of a neat thing. And once I got to know everybody, it's just such a great group of people.
Yeah, they are a wonderful group of people, and now you're part of it. So, and
I
speaking,
Go ahead.
sorry,
No, you go.
speaking of boots on the ground, Tommy is the only person who has been at every single court hearing with a camera. So I just wanted to shout out Tommy for that.
He also got the best copy of my speech ever. So he got the best copy I found so far.
Awesome.
Um, so I will say that I can't wait. I can't wait to go back. I want to do that. But we did start this stream. This was kind of be our the Sean McDonough files. So I do. If people have any questions, I this thing about there's two things I want to address. People are asking, how can we see you if we're not on Twitter? How can we see if you're not on Twitter? I will have, hopefully this week, I will be cross-publishing on an actual website as well. It's not going to be, I'm not doing Turtle Boy Sports, and I'm not doing like a subscription website or any of these. I'm just doing a kind of a content aggregator website where people can go and they'll be able to go and see my content. They'll be able to find it in another place that's not Twitter. So I am doing that. I think I'm going to do a WordPress site this week just so that I have somewhere to put up content and people can get out there. It's also one of the requirements to be able to get your press pass in the court system in Massachusetts is have another place that you publish content other than just on uh, a straight social media platform. So I will be rolling that out in the next week or so. I have
As soon as we have a link, I'll put it in our community description so people can follow it. But also, in the meantime, while Jason's getting these things organized, you can always come back here and see his next interview or his next appearance.
I love that. Yeah, I'm one of the I like to be one of the house guests here on Aussie Insider. I love that.
You absolutely are.